What's up, y'all? Peace to the gods. Peace and prosperity. Godspeed to everyone. I love myself, God. I love myself, God. Always remember that you God. Always remember. What everybody got up today, man? Just out here grounding, manipulating energies with my thoughts. Embracing my thoughts. Balancing. Maintaining balance. Just as the body maintains an equilibrium as it should. Keeps it healthy. Peace to all the guys in the room. I love myself. When I say myself, I mean CELLF. Because yourself is composed of trillions of cells. Rafiki. Good to see you, brother. I love you too, man. I love my self-reflection. CELLF is the true self. It is the infinite self. It is the self you can conceptualize into any form because it is all fractal. The CELLF is the trillions of cells that make up a body and the trillions of bodies that make up a plane of existence. And the trillions or infinite amounts of planes of existence that make up consciousness. Peace to the God, Roxana, Korea. I love myself, God. Always remember that you God. And there's nothing else. You can't be anything else. Embrace yourself, embrace your power, your intent and will, and use it righteously in the Christ consciousness. But yeah. Peace to the God, Mixon. But yeah, yourself is not just your body, well, what you think your body is. You are actually a cell within a body, just as your trillions of cells constantly die and are reborn to make up your body. And each of those cells has a specific purpose and also falls within a certain group, which is dedicated to a purpose. It is the same way with human beings. It's the same way with your mind, your individualized, illusory mind. You think you just have a body, but your body has a specific purpose, and it is grouped with other bodies with I love myself. Love myself, God. I always remember that you God, you cannot be anything. Thinking this at all times will elevate you or balance out your mind into the Christ consciousness. Use your intent and your will to manifest righteously. So yourself, your body is a tool for the mind, a tool for consciousness to get a specific purpose done. Whether you're conscious of it or not, it doesn't matter. Not the thing is still getting done. If you're conscious, the wood, you are God. I love myself. Reflection. Me and I am you. You cannot be anything else. And this will keep you in Christ consciousness. Use your intent and will for righteousness, for anything that you deem as righteous. So, whether you're conscious of it or not, your body is doing exactly. And if you are, it means the intent and will to change the chances that you are getting, uh, and how often you're conscious, or how conscious you are of your body doing what it's doing. Anything that you experience, everything that you're experiencing is a product of the body. Okay? Whether you think it's spiritual, whether you think it's, you know what I'm saying, supernatural, whether you think it's another being, it's all your being. Nothing else. There's nothing else but your being. And I know this might confuse a lot of people because I just said bodies within bodies. But see, that's how reality works. It's fractal. This reality is a fractal reciprocity of consciousness. Let me say that again. This reality is a fractal reciprocity of consciousness, which means everything that's happening has always. Oh, thank you. I'm grateful, Roxana. I'm thankful. Peace to the guys entering the room. They tried to cut me out a little bit. Well, what I was saying was, this reality is a fractal reciprocity of consciousness, meaning that what people conceptualize as God, or what atheists conceptualize as the field, is one and the same, the quantum field. There's actually consciousness, and like I was saying, how there's bodies within bodies, where actually our consciousness, your individual consciousness, is actually all of consciousness. It's just streamed into a focused piece of its own mind. So you are me saying it, or describing it as separate, is actually an illusion. This is just us coming from a state of unconsciousness into more of an awareness of their fractal reciprocity of consciousness. Everything that has happened, everything that is happening, has happened and will continue to happen in the constant cycles of space-time curvature. Peace to the God, Sadie's, Crockett. I love myself, God. Always remember that you, God, and you cannot be anything else. This will keep you in the Christ consciousness and allow you to use your intent and will for righteous endeavors. Okay, so your consciousness, everything that you see, has always been, will always be, you are quantum being. It is fractal. Everything that you're seeing is fractal. Everything is a piece of you. Everything is a piece of yourself. The CELLF. And this stretches beyond what you see as time, which is an illusion. This stretches beyond the illusion of separation. So it's really infinite. There's no extent to everything. There is no extent to everything that you are. There's no extent. Limit is illusion. Any reality that you can think of in your head is a possibility and has to come into materialization through serving the 7 hermetic principles of natural law. Peace to the God, Gilbert Bird. I love myself, God. Always remember that you God, and that will keep you on the Christ consciousness, which will help you to deliver your intent and will through righteous endeavors at all times. Even if you mess up, that doesn't matter. Even if you mess up, the mess up is to teach you to be more aware. So it's still all righteous at the end of the day. It's still all light, love, and logic. But there's no extent to what you actually are. Where am I from? I'm from the sun. There's no extent to what you actually are. What you actually are. You're an infinite consciousness. You're streamed into a piece of yourself, which is also infinite. But you're going through conceptualizations in order to experience all of yourself. So you're going from lifetime to lifetime. And I know this might go over a lot of people's heads, but you're going from lifetime to lifetime, lifetime to lifetime, doing your best to experience yourself, and which is infinite. So you're basically running from yourself and running to yourself simultaneously. You are searching through your own infinite mind for who you are and wanting to gain a perfect conceptualization or a full apprehension or comprehension of what you are. And which is ongoing, which is infinite, because you're an infinite being. You have many different perceptions and conceptualizations within you. So this is what makes the simulation of life. This is what makes the simulation of life. Consciousness wanting to know itself. Consciousness wanting to be what it already is and constantly gain more information or more awareness of itself, even though it's infinite. That's the story of your consciousness. That's who you are. Peace to the God, Courtney Wyrick. I love myself. Peace to the God, Terrence D. Withers in the room. Always remember that y'all God, man. I love myself. Peace to the God, this kid, Vandy. I love myself. Reflection. You're the only thing that exists. You are God. Do not ever forget that. That's going to keep you in the Christ consciousness and help you to use your intent and will for righteous endeavors. So, this story of infinite consciousness is what you actually are. Your mind, your body's an illusion. All of this stuff is an illusion. All of this stuff that you're seeing, you would not be able to see it without your body. All of this stuff that you're seeing, you would not be able to see it without your body. Believe it or not, it's scientific. It's proven. It's all proven. Because your brain cannot see. Your brain cannot hear. Your brain cannot smell. Your brain cannot touch. You see what I'm saying? Your brain can't do any of these things. That's why it has other components of the body. That's why there's other components of the body that does these things. Your brain doesn't do any of that. All your brain does is process electrical and chemical signals. All your brain does is process electrochemical signals that it gets from these other parts of the body. But guess what? The eyes go out. They capture electrochemical signals. The ears go out. They capture electrochemical signals. Your nose does the same thing. Your tongue, your skin, which is the largest organ on your body, of the body, and tells the brain, gives all this information to the brain, and the brain is the one that interprets this information. How can the brain, which never goes outside of the body and sits in darkness, in complete darkness in your skull, in complete darkness all the time, throughout your whole life, interpret things from other parts of the body that it has never been in, it has never seen, it's never been outside of the body. It's been in complete darkness. Your brain is always in complete darkness and water. It is always in the darkness upon the face of the deep. Your brain is always in the darkness upon the face of the deep waters. Your brain is always in the darkness upon the face of the deep waters. It's always in the deep waters. It's in darkness. So how's your brain interpreting these electrical signals to be what we see as reality? Your brain is doing this based off focused intent over time. Your brain is doing this off focused intent over time. Remember the story I was just talking about? You are infinite being. You have no beginning or end. You're constantly focused on becoming more aware of your own consciousness. So you make bodies. These bodies are programmed for specific purposes. These bodies are programmed for specific purposes to get to actualize or realize, materialize, and experience a perspective of the mind. So the brain, it doesn't go outside of the body and get knowledge and information. The eyes and all this other stuff does. But the brain takes it and interprets it in a certain way so that it can be used for the specific purpose of what it's been programmed to do over time. Over the illusion of time. Over this illusory thing that we call time. So everything in your DNA programs your genes, and then your genes get expressed in a specific way according to the environment that you're in. And that's your DNA, your genotype, and your phenotype. That's exactly how it works. So your consciousness is streaming from your DNA. The DNA is your mind. Everything biologically has the same DNA. All I'm talking about is knowledge. What do you ask? Where and what literature have you been reading? All I'm talking about is knowledge that we already know, bro. I'm not talking about anything that you got to go look up and you got to read. I'm talking about shit that motherfuckers taught us in damn middle school and junior high and high school. I'm talking about shit motherfuckers teach you in public school, but they don't piece it all together for you. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about how reality works, what life really is, and how we can use it to benefit ourselves more constructively and more consciously. They give you, biology and mathematics and, pieces of mathematics and, a whole, social studies and all of that stuff. They give you pieces of it, but they don't piece it all together for you and see how it's all connected. And then a lot of the information is taken out. You know what I'm saying? Then a lot of the information is taken out. You know what I'm saying? So it's all really one science. You know what I'm saying? It's all really one science, and it came from what we call alchemy, the study of alchemy. This is the study of alchemy. This is the study of alchemizing all science. This is a study of alchemizing everything that you can see in life, period. And perceiving it in a specific way so that you can know exactly what's going on in your dimension that you place yourself in unconsciously. So, peace of the God, Miss Shantae Hudlin. I love myself. Remember that you God. Peace to the God, Thoth Neteru. I love myself. Always remember that you God. That will keep you on the state of Christ consciousness and will help you to use your intent and will for righteous endeavors. But yes, all this information is just alchemizing everything that you already know. The DNA, your DNA, I was just explaining to you, the DNA holds all infinite information. The DNA, this is biology 101. Biology 101. The DNA holds the instructions, which means the information, the codes for all biological life, period. For all biological life, period. All life, period. That's the mind of God. This is your mind. Your DNA is your mind. Then out of your DNA, out of your mind, through the law of correspondence, it's a natural law. Everything corresponds with each other. He just asked, what rules the other? It's not one rules the other, it's correspondent, meaning they're both happening at the same time and they correspond with each other. They have a relationship with one another. The relationship between them is that they're actually the same thing happening on different vibrations of reality, on different sections of reality at the same time. It's an infinite scale though. I love myself, God, Brian Muhammad. Always remember that you God, and you will stay in the Christ consciousness, and all of your intent and will be pushed to do righteous endeavors. So, all of on this scale of infinite consciousness, you got, as above, so below. You got astrology, biology, quantum physics, what you know what I'm saying? You got all of this, all of these different sciences, mathematics, and you know what I'm saying, all of these different sciences. It's the same shit. You know what I'm saying? People just be thinking too damn hard. You know what I'm saying? People just be thinking too damn hard. DNA is the mind of God. Everything is God. Don't ever let anybody confuse you and say, "Oh man, this is just my God because this religion says it's my God," and all that. You can make anything your God. Everything is God. And objectively, everything is God. Subjectively, anything can be God. Anything you can think of, possibly anything, because objectively everything is God. So we're not even gonna go and debate that. But when it comes to DNA, the DNA is your mind, and then out of your mind you have what? Thoughts. Okay? Out of your mind you have thoughts, and then out of those thoughts you get experiences or feelings. You experience a feeling. Okay? And then after that feeling, you may act upon that feeling, and then you will get a reciprocation of that action, which is a reaction. You know what I'm saying? You get a reaction from your environment depending on what experience or the feelings that you experience, and you take an action upon. So your DNA is the mind of God. Your consciousness is the mind of God. Simultaneously, these are the same things. Your mind is DNA. The DNA outputs thought or information. You know what I'm saying? All information that you could think of. That's the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind are the thoughts that you are not fully aware of, that are always happening, constantly repeating on a cycle. And that's how your body got made, and that's how we got here and all that shit. It's an automated system, basically a program. It's a computer program. We are all in a simulation. This is a simulation. But let me break it down. So you got DNA, your mind, thoughts, which are genes. See what I'm saying? And there's infinite amounts of genes that's constantly being made. That's constantly being paired up together and creating beings and making beings, or manipulating reality to materialize certain beings for specific purposes. And then you got the phenotype of the genes, which is how the genes express themselves according to different environments that they're in, which is basically your feelings. According to what environment you're in, you're going to feel a certain way. You have a mind. Your mind creates thoughts. Your thoughts, what you think over and over and over again, whether you're conscious of it or not, it goes into your subconscious and you think it over and over again, and that makes you feel a certain type of way every day. That makes you feel a certain type of way every day. And so with that feeling, it's going to make you act a certain way every day. And then depending on what environment you're in, if you act a certain way, you're going to get certain things back that reconstruct the way you think. That restructure the way you think. So it's the same way with genetics. It's the same way with DNA. It's the same way with genes. It's the same way. You just got to reverse engineer it. Just how the DNA, how it all starts from the DNA, and then it gets to genes, and then the genes get expressed into your phenotype. That last part is perception. Your perception controls your genes. Soon as your perception controls how your cells take in information from what you are thinking, what you're imagining, and the way you perceive in life. And the way you perceive in life is predicated on what you imagine all day, every day. So imagination is very important. You know, when we was in public school, Gilbert, peace to the God, Brian Cal, I love myself, man. I always remember that you God and there can't be nothing else. And it was keep you on the state of Christ consciousness and provoke you to do righteous endeavors with your intent and will. I love myself, all y'all. Peace to all the guys coming in the room, man. But basically, we're supposed to be taught how to use our fucking imagination. You know what I'm saying? We're supposed to be taught how to use our imagination creatively, constructively, and logically. You know what I'm saying? Abstractly and logically simultaneously. We're supposed to be able to use our intuition and logic simultaneously. There's shit that's happening that's not right in front of your fucking face, but it's still happening in your life. There's stuff that's happening for you that you don't even know. You don't even know about. You don't even see. What you got to do is you got to speak it. And you got to be sure of it. Peace to the God, Atum Ra El Bay. I love myself. Always remember that you God, and it will keep you on the state of Christ consciousness and push you to do righteous endeavors with your intent and will. So when it comes to genetics, your cells literally take your perception and they redesign and they send that information back into the DNA and the ribosomes to make different proteins so that you can make different types of cells. So if you got a strong mind, you're going to have a strong body. If you got strong will and intent, you're going to have a strong body. If you got a nice mind, if you nice and you peaceful, you know what I'm saying? You're going to be, you know what I'm saying? Everything around you going to be nice and peaceful because you're going to make everything nice and peaceful. Your whole body is going to be in a state of health. If you really in a peaceful state and you have balance in your mind, then your body going to be in a state of health and in balance. So it's corresponding with each other. Your cells make, your DNA makes genes. Your ribosomes take those genes and makes proteins. Then those proteins get together and make cells. So, but the cells get instruction from the environment to change the way that the genes are making the proteins through the ribosomes. So it's all about your imagination. It's all about what you can see in your mind and how much focus and intent you can put into what you see your vision as. If you constantly thinking about the same thing every day, if you constantly thinking about bullshit every day, you constantly think about bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And you might not even know it. You ain't gonna experience, you're gonna keep experiencing bullshit because you constantly thinking about bullshit. If there's bullshit happening to you, the only way you're gonna change it is if you react to the situation properly by keeping a healthier perspective about the situation that you in. Gilbert asked me, where did I get this information from? I didn't study this. I studied a lot of information, I ain't gonna lie. But all of this just streams through me, bro. I don't hardly even study like I used to. I don't pick up a book, bro. I don't hardly pick up a book or nothing. It just come through. It like come through my DNA. Like I say, all the information that you need is built in your DNA. The only reason you perceive this reality is because your DNA was instructed with certain genes that needs to be expressed through a certain phenotype. And then through that environment, you was quote unquote born. And that affected how you think you are, who you think you are. Really, you God, you're an infinite void of nothingness. You just experiencing the infinite self without any extent, without any limit, without boundaries. You know what I'm saying? You don't have any boundaries. All you're here to experience yourself exactly how you want to experience yourself from the perspective of your own mind, from a specific, out of infinite possibilities, one possibility became you. You became that possibility. Out of all the infinite possibilities that you could be, you became this possibility. Bro, this possibility got to be very special if you wanted to become it. You see what I'm saying? Just because you are unconscious, that's the even better part of the game. That's the even better part of the simulation because you can become more and more aware. You can become more happy. You can become more joyous. You can become more peaceful. You can become more at bliss. You can become more. You can always become more. And that's why it's our people or the melanated man was called Moors, because everything that we touch, everything that we thinking, everything in, you know what I'm saying, in the history books and the stuff that, I ain't talking about, public school. I'm talking about outside of European, you know what I'm saying, that bullshit, indoctrination and shit. That's why we was Moors, because we wanted to do more with everything we wanted to think, everything we thought, felt, and put our hands and put action into. We wanted more. We wanted to make it more. We wanted to imagine. We wanted to keep things going over and over and over again. Make the cycles keep repeating themselves by only expanding consciousness. Originally, expanding consciousness. And so this is just this is a simulation of expanding consciousness. And if you look up the definition of simulation, then you're gonna know what reality is, period. If you look up the definition of holographic, look up the definition of simulation. Oh, this is probably the stuff Gilbert was asking for. Yeah, look up the definition of holographic, look up the definition of simulation, look up the definition of light and electromagnetism. And just think about life. Just think about what this is. Like, literally, just think about life. Like, all the information, all the life on this earth gets its energy from the sun. Okay? All the life on this earth gets its energy from the sun. But all the life on this earth is taking that energy and using it for different things. And the sun is just constantly giving. It's not thinking about taking away. It's not thinking about taking anything. It's just thinking about imagining something. If you look up at the sun right now, the first thing you're gonna see is black, void, darkness. You're gonna see the sun is black. The sun is dark. The sun is an infinite void. The sun is a mind. The sun is your mind. The sun is the mind. And there's trillions and billions of them. There's infinite amounts of stars. It's just pieces of our mind. And pieces of our minds, the piece of your mind is focused, it's just focused mind, man. It's your conscious mind. It's your focused mind. When you're focused, you make realities. Period. That goes for anything in life, period. It goes for anything in the universe. I don't care what type of entity you want to think is separate from, you think I'm saying? You think it's separate from you. I don't care what type of entity, you know what I'm saying? You want to call it God or whatever. It don't matter. You still it. You're it. There is no separation. Everything is quantum. Everything is fractal. This is a fractal reciprocity of consciousness. This is a fractal reciprocity of consciousness. Look up the word fractal. Fractal. Look up the word fractal. Look up the word reciprocate or reciprocity. REP. ROCITY. Reciprocity. I think I misspelled it. But anyways, look up the word fractal and look up reciprocity, man. I'm talking about, it's just simple. This knowledge is very, very, very simple. When you begin to actually subconsciously program yourself, meaning from the mind of God, the DNA, peace to the God, unas, I love myself. Stay in Christ consciousness by knowing that you are God so that you can keep doing your righteous endeavors with your intent and will. All this infinite consciousness is the DNA, which is you. The reality is an illusion because you're making it as you see it. Your brain is in darkness. You're making this as you see it. Your brain is in darkness. Your brain can't see none of this. Your brain is interpreting this for what it is. Your brain is interpreting this as it is. And you just used to it. That's all it is. Your brain is interpreting this. Peace to the God, Aaron Awakening. I love myself. Your brain is interpreting this, and you're just used to how the brain is interpreting this. Your body is used to how the brain is interpreting this. So you think this is normal. You think what you're seeing is normal. But your brain is interpreting this way. You think this is real. You think what's happening right now is actually real. It's because you're making it real. You can make other realities real. You can make plenty of other things real. Anything you see in your mind, you could, whatever you put your focused intent and will into is gonna come. And that even goes for evil people. It even goes for, you know what I'm saying, evil motherfuckers. That go for anybody. How you think the world got how it is? Motherfuckers put their focused intent and will into that shit. They wanted to make that shit happen. And people agreed. And they said, yeah, let's do this shit. And it don't take many. It only take a few motherfuckers. It only take 1% of the fucking world. It only takes 1% of the world to change the world. Facts. Bro said making dreams reality. Facts. It only take 1% of the world, my nigga. My brother, my sister, my God. It only take 1% of the world to change what everybody else seeing. So it's about us knowing that we're one. First of all, knowing that we won. You know what I'm saying? It ain't about all that protesting and shit. You know what I'm saying? Nah, all that protesting and all this shit that's going on in the world right now, that's a fucking distraction. The protesting and the peaceful protesters, they doing their thing. The rioting and the looting and shit, that's stupid. Y'all niggas dumb. That's a distraction. Don't let them keep you off your, don't let that, you know what I'm saying? Don't let the motherfuckers keep you off your shit. That's a distraction. They pumping, the media is pumping the riots and the looting. So people that can see it can continuously be subconsciously programmed on some old world shit, on some old world paradigm, so they can keep their shit going. But you ain't gotta be in that. You can watch something else, you can read something else, you can do other things, and subconsciously program yourself to a whole nother world on the same plane of existence. A whole nother world on the same plane of existence away from that shit. Easy. Program yourself with divine knowledge of self. Program yourself with constantly thinking how you God, what you can do to what's the word? To show and prove it. What you can do to show and prove it. All the knowledge, research all the knowledge, study, apply the knowledge. Constantly doing that every day. Make sure there ain't nothing in your way. If you got people in your life that ain't doing what you doing, if you got people in your life that ain't trying to see from your perspective at all, cut them motherfuckers off. Don't be around them, period. If you know some motherfuckers, there's some finessing motherfuckers that like taking shit, but at the same time, you don't like thievery, and you don't like you know what I'm saying, you don't like motherfuckers being deceptive, then why the fuck you still around them? That don't make no fucking sense. I said all of this to come to this. The real nigga shit. The real talk. Stop being around motherfuckers that you don't need to be around. Period. Stop being around people that you don't need to be around. And stop watching shit and putting stuff in your body that you know don't need to be in your fucking body. Period. I'm human too. I'm working. I'm subconsciously programming myself. But you see, I'm gonna be out this motherfucker. I ain't finna be around all this bullshit. Period. And I got people in my life that's helping me make sure that I'm gonna get there. And I'm helping them make sure that they gonna get there, because we all on the same shit. Hey, you gotta put your mind, you gotta focus your mind on how, especially since right now, okay, when it comes to astrology, right now, this is the age of Aquarius. Okay? We coming out of the age of Pisces. This is why the old world is trying to keep its stuff going, because it's in the age of Pisces. Age of Pisces is separation. The age of Pisces is separation. It's looking at things from duality. It's looking at things from trying to see all the different dual perspectives of everything, trying to make everything happen, trying to make things separate from one another, trying to see separatism. But the age of Aquarius is about the knowledge of the duality and using that knowledge to transcend it into oneness, okay? The age of Aquarius is about acknowledging everything became known in the age of Pisces. The age of Aquarius is about rebellion, creativity, group consciousness, using your individuality to benefit a collective. Okay? This is the age that we're in. This is the age that we're coming into now. That's why all this shit going on. It's exactly why all this shit going on. Y'all don't care if you say you don't believe in astrology. That's exactly why this shit is going on, because we have cycles of consciousness, and those cycles of consciousness play out through the stars, as above, so below. And your cycles of consciousness beam into the realities that's under the stars, that those stars manifest. Those stars are just your different types of thoughts. There's different forms of your thoughts. So every planet and star that you can see in the sky is a piece of how you think. And simultaneously, as above, so below, a piece of your genetics or piece of DNA. So you're literally simultaneously projecting and receiving light. You're projecting thoughts, which is light, and you're perceiving thoughts, which is photons, which is light. And all this is information. They're just collapsing with each other and making the reality that you see. But it's all based on your perception, because your genes still have a genotype regardless of what environment they're in. And what environment you're in affects the phenotype, which means it affects how those genes are expressed. So the astrological energy that you have, depending on what environment you're in, those energies can change, shift up a little bit according to the environment. So now you know what to do. If I got to tell it to you plainly, stop fucking with people that ain't on your shit. Stop thinking shit that you know ain't good for you. If you constantly thinking, oh, I can't do this and I can't do that, oh, you ain't gonna be able to do it. That's just period. Peace to the God, fair Stephanie. I love myself. Always remember that you God, and this will keep you on the Christ consciousness and push you towards doing right endeavors with your intent and will. I love myself. Reflection. So, yeah, just stop fucking with people. Anything. Cut it off, man. Or at least lessen it to the point where you know you can only fuck with certain people at specific times. Whereas when you're doing specific things. If you know you got a fucking goal in your head, or you know you got an imagination or a world you building, and you fucking with people on that level of that world, and then there's other people with other parts, you know what I'm saying, of the stuff that you building, you can't fuck with the people that's outside of that main vision as much as the people that you have for that main vision or that main goal that you constantly imagining. Because then you're going to offset your equilibrium of thought. You're going to offset your equilibrium of thoughts, and you're going to be wondering why shit keeps failing in your motherfucking life. You're going to wonder why you keep having different experiences, no matter what it may be. It might be a car wreck. It might be, you know what I'm saying, you might lose some money. You might, anything. You might lose some materials. Because the universe is going to show you that you ain't supposed to be fucking with certain people. And you ain't supposed to be thinking about certain shit. And you ain't supposed to be eating certain shit. And you ain't supposed to be moving certain ways. If you're trying to go to a certain goal. Now, if you want to stay with the bullshit, that's you. And that's perfectly fine. You can do whatever you want to do. You got, remember that. You can do whatever you want to do. But always know that there's going to be an equal and opposite reaction to everything that you do. And you will judge yourself. Ain't nobody else going to judge you. It ain't going to be no being that's, when you pass on or you transition, it's going to be on a fucking great white chair looking at you, talking about you did wrong. No. The infinite all is unconditional. There are no conditions. There are no boundaries to the mind. So it's going to give you unconditional love. It's not going to give you, you know what I'm saying, pestilence and hate. It's not going to give you, oh, well, hey, you should have did that, right? Look at this. It's going to, nah, you're going to see your own fucking life. It's not going to come to you and show you your life and then judge you for doing that shit. It's going to accept you. It's going to be like, oh, okay, you chose to do all that. Okay, that's whatever. Okay, let's come on in here. Nah, you're going to see everything you done, and you're going to regret your own shit. You're going to regret what the fuck you did. If you feel guilty for anything you done, if you still feel guilty for anything you done, and shit that you know you could have done right, that's the Holy Spirit, bro. Can't nobody, bro, that's a personal level. That's Christ. That's Christ consciousness. That's your own personal level. You the only being that exists. Can't nobody else tell you what the fuck, You know what I'm saying? What you done wrong. You know what you did wrong, nigga. You know, you gonna know. Just like right now, you constantly judging yourself. Every moment, you constantly judging yourself. And you can't sit up here and tell me there ain't no fucking truth. You can't sit up here and tell me that's a lie. Every moment, everybody is judging their fucking self. Everybody is conscious anyway. You constantly judging yourself. So what you think is gonna happen when you transition? The same shit. Everything that's happening now, this is a fractal reciprocity of consciousness. This reality is a fractal reciprocity of consciousness. So everything that's happening right now is gonna happen. It's gonna keep on happening every single moment in a different way. That's all that's gonna keep happening. So if you transition, this body gone, and you on your way to another body, you gonna still experience life. That shit don't never stop. You still gonna experience life. You an infinite being. You're infinite consciousness. You still gonna experience everything. And I know because I used to fucking astral travel every fucking night and practice neuronautics and practice my dreams, practice dreaming on purpose and making reality. So I know exactly how this shit work. I know exactly how it works. You're living in a dream. This dream is a reality. And this reality is your body. And within your body is your DNA, which is your mind. So your mind is in your body. You think your spirit in your body, but your body inside your spirit. Okay? You think your spirit's in your body, but your body inside your spirits. Your body is being made up by your spirits. And within your spirits. And you got the right to fuck up if you want to, but you gonna know when you fuck up, man. I'm telling you. You gonna know when you fuck up. And when you leave this motherfucker, when you leave this plane of existence, you gotta go to another one. There's no stopping. You gonna go to the motherfucking light, you gonna shoot back up through the moon to that sun, it's gonna be over with. And you gonna have to face yourself. It ain't gonna be no almighty, all-powerful God that you facing. Nah, it's gonna be you. You the almighty, all-powerful one. All you gonna go back into your source. You're gonna go back to source mind. Instead of conceptualized or compartmentalized or perception of your mind, you're gonna go to where all perception come from. See what I'm saying? A lot of people, they be like, well, your truth is the truth. Whatever you choose your truth to be is the truth. Nah, that ain't right. Reality don't work like that. Because if a motherfucker standing in front of the damn car and ain't nobody there to help him, and the car just going 70 down miles an hour, and don't nobody, and the motherfucker in the car driving, and don't see the motherfucker, or just want to run the motherfucker over, and the motherfucker just still standing there in the street, that motherfucker gonna get hit. Point blank period. That's mathematics. And math don't lie. Shit, that's mathematics. One plus one, nigga. 1 + 1 = 2. But 2 is a whole number in itself, so that's 1. Nigga, so anyways, if some shit gonna happen, it's gonna happen. Nigga, it's straight up logic. It's straight up logic. Period. This reality is logic. It's not just imagination. It's logic too. Your imagination creates the logic. And your logic bends the imagination. So, it's 1, 2, 3, man. It's mathematics. Once you leave this motherfucker, or you leave this plane of existence, or this plane of thought, or how you thinking right now, all you're gonna keep experiencing is yourself. So that's why it's good to know that everything is you right now. That's the message that Christ brings, the Christ consciousness. That's the message that Christ brings. It's good to study yourself, know who you are. Because right now, all you doing is peace to the God, Juliet Harding Reed. I love myself, God. All you doing is dealing with yourself. All you doing is dealing with yourself. That's why it's good to have that right now. It's good to have that right now. You know what I'm saying? I can tell you that simply, but for some people, they gotta have some type of shit backing it up for some reason before they do some shit. They gotta have some type of scientific reasoning, you know what I'm saying, before they do some shit. And that's why I'm glad my energy set up the way it is, because I you know what I'm saying, I used to like to study a lot and shit, and I done got all this information and put it all together and just experience certain stuff in my life to the point where, you know what I'm saying, metaphysical shit that motherfuckers can't explain, I can explain it. You know what I'm saying? Peace to the God. Jonisha Gatewood. I love myself, God. Always remember that you God, and that will keep you on the Christ consciousness, which will push you to do righteous endeavors through your intent and will. I love myself. But yeah, you can't, when it all boils down to it, when it all come down, you know what I'm saying, to the truth, you don't got your own truth, my nigga. You either under somebody, you got what's beyond perception. Your perception is not truth. What's truth is beyond perception. Okay? Peace to the God, Chainen Brown, and peace to the God, Tristan Santiago. I love myself, guys. I always remember that y'all God, so y'all can stay on the Christ consciousness and do righteous endeavors through y'all intent and will. Truth is not perception. Truth is what's beyond perception. Truth is what's beyond perception. Truth is mathematics. Truth is 1, 2, 3. Truth is nature. How everything is working naturally. How everything is supposed to work. Okay, that's good and bad shit in nature. Of course, there's duality. Duality must happen so that there can be experience of life. You see what I'm saying? But for the motherfuckers, I'm talking about for the motherfuckers that be like, just want to do what the fuck they want to do every day, knowing they supposed to be doing some righteous shit, knowing they supposed to be on some better shit. You know what I'm saying? And they still doing some fuck shit. This message right here, this part of this message is for them. Y'all motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying? You or you know what I'm saying? You got to embrace who you actually are, bro. You can't fucking just keep on doing the same shit over and over and over again, expecting different results, nigga. That's insanity. You know what I'm saying? That's insanity. If you getting the same mathematical equation, and you want it to be a different sum total at the end of that bitch, and you got to change up some variables. You gonna have to change up some variables of that equation. It's just simple science. It's simple mathematics. Shit's simple. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't do that shit for you, you know what I'm saying? People don't want to talk about hell and heaven and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? People want to think that shit fake. But all right, nigga, you got your moral compass. You know what's up. Shit. And if you don't, you gonna know what's up eventually. You know what I'm saying? I ain't really gotta explain too much. You know, some people, they just want that scientific information before they go about doing what they really wanted to do anyway. You know what I'm saying? What they know in their heart they wanted to do anyway. They want the scientific information behind it. You know what I'm saying? They want that little push. So anyways, yeah, if you don't get the shit right this lifetime, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna have to experience another one. But in the process of that, once this body gone, your consciousness is gonna shoot to the moon. And when your consciousness goes shoot to the moon, what's gonna happen is you're gonna experience dream-like reality, like how you do every night if you dream. I mean, this is like a dream, but it's more focused. That's why it's steady flowing. Peace to the God, Dolia Curtis. I love myself. Stay in the Christ consciousness. I always know that you God, you and that'll keep you in the Christ consciousness, and that will provoke you to do righteous endeavors with your intent and will. So this is like a dream reality too, but you know what I'm saying? It's more fluid. It's more focused. So you know what I'm saying? You know, if you ever dream that night, you just pop up in that motherfucker and shit already going on. It's happening fast, slow. It's happening in all different types of ways. There's different abstract shit going on. The same shit going on here. You just don't know it because you focus. You're so focused on doing certain things. You focus on a purpose. This is reality for purpose. You know what I'm saying? This is a purposeful reality. There's realities. The reality that has no purpose. There's no purpose. There's no purpose. And the purpose, the only purpose of having, the only meaning for having meaninglessness is to make meaning. So there's a base reality where all truth and perception comes from. But what all that stems from that is just different versions or different parts of that truth. You see what I'm saying? It's not all truth. You never have, all you can do is do your best to get close to the truth. That's all you can do. When you have a perception that is encased in the knowledge of knowing what's beyond the perception of truth, and actually, you see what I'm saying, close to the truth itself, then you Christ consciousness. Then you can see, no matter what you're doing in your life, you keeping the knowledge of how you're God and how you're that void being and how you're the beyond these perceptions and this false reality, this illusion, this simulation. You have knowledge, and if you have that knowledge and you practice that every day in some way, then you good. You see what I'm saying? Because you're gonna make the right moves. The universe is gonna set you up. You're gonna set yourself up subconsciously, because your subconscious mind is gonna be programmed to mathematics. It's not gonna be programmed to illogical shit. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get out of illogical shit. But if you just in the logical shit talking about, well, this is my logic, and you know it's illogical, mathematical equation does not add up to what you're trying to add it up to, then you're gonna continue to have error. And when your body goes, your consciousness is gonna shoot to the moon. Your consciousness is gonna shoot to the moon. You're gonna experience paradise or purgatory. You're gonna experience paradise or purgatory, whichever one you want to call it. Where you just experiencing, like, it's kind of like this, but it's just a little bit more fleeting. It's a little bit more fleeting, where things are just moving real, you know what I'm saying, fast and moving wavy and changing, constantly changing. You know what I'm saying? Things are constantly changing here, but it's not doing it as fast, or, you know what I'm saying? You can't really see everything that's happening behind it. So what you're going to do is, when you go to the moon and you experience consciousness on the moon, you're gonna see that. Okay. So this whole process of your consciousness, or transformation, or what people call death, of your consciousness streaming from this body through the satellite of the moon. The moon is a satellite, and going to the sun. This whole process is an experience that your consciousness is going through. You see what I'm saying? As above, so below. So as you go through the moon, as you shoot your consciousness from the earth, it's traveling from the earth. That whole point of space between the earth and the moon is an experience. And that's also an expansion of consciousness. It's also an expansion of focused energy, of focused consciousness. Because your consciousness is leaving the earth's atmosphere, the earth plane. So I'm saying, that plane of existence. And so what's happening is, your consciousness has to transform into the different states it needs to exist in during that travel. So this is what you call the astral bodies. See what I'm saying? This is what you call the astral bodies, or the soul bodies, or the demiurge, the angels. See what I'm saying? The angels and the archons and all of this stuff is all the different bodies that you turn into on your way there. You know what I'm saying? On your way to the moon, and the same thing on your way from the moon to the sun. Peace to the God Oracle. Omni Mega Source Council. Omni Mega Source Council. I love myself, God. You know what's up. So during this whole process of your consciousness going from the earth plane to the moon plane, then the sun plane, you're going through different realms. You're going through different dream realms. You're going through different bodies. The same way you is here. You just traveling. You're a photon traveling. Your soul is a photon. You're just light. You're the sun. You're traveling right now. So what's going to happen is, your consciousness traveling. You're going to travel to the moon, and you're going to experience these different states of consciousness, to where you're going to basically see different parts of yourself again, like all the other people that you knew on earth. You know what I'm saying? And stuff like that. You're going to experience them again. You know what I'm saying? That's the good place. You know what I'm saying? Hey, y'all need to go watch The Good Place, man. That shit fire. Go watch The Good Place. Then y'all gonna understand what I'm talking about. Or at least a little bit. You're gonna understand a little bit of what I'm saying. As you traveling from the earth to the sun, you experiencing the good place. You see what I'm saying? But then you get to the sun, after you and quote unquote died on earth, your consciousness shot to the moon, and you experienced this good place. It's, oh yeah, it's all good, yeah. Then you get to the sun, which is your source of mind. The sun is a portal. The sun is just a gateway. It's a portal of consciousness. You know what I'm saying? It's a portal of consciousness that brings realities into existence. And so you're going to go to the sun, which is all white, blank slate of consciousness. And you're going to see this light, and you're going to know exactly what it is. Because you're going to see yourself separate from it, because all you knew was separate. You know what I'm saying? Illusion of separation. Unless you subconsciously program yourself to know that everything is an illusion of separation and that you're actually one with everything. If not, then you're going to experience separation from this being, or from the sun, or from the all-knowing consciousness that you actually are, which is the inverted all infinite possibility experienced of your original self, which is the darkness of the void. Hope y'all got that right. Hope I said that right so you can understand what's going on here. And so you get there, you get to this unconditional loving being, and it's like, come on. You know what I'm saying? It's not doing like me, like doing that. But you know what I'm saying? It's a feeling, this presence of just, come on, come on. But since you see yourself so separate from it, and then done all this other shit in your life, knowing you're supposed to do the right fucking thing according to mathematics and science, not no damn fairy tales and shit. You're supposed to do the shit. And you did it by your deeds. You did it, you acted righteously according to your intent and your will, which is Christ consciousness, being in oneness with everything. Since you didn't do that, you gonna that feeling of guilt, the feeling of regret, the feeling of not doing enough, the feeling of not being who you could have been, the feeling of not doing what you know you was supposed to do that was right. That feeling, that thought, gonna create a feeling, and that feeling is gonna create a reality. That feeling is gonna make an action. That action is gonna be a reality that you make for yourself. And you're gonna literally make a reality like hell, where you're regretting yourself, and you full of guilt, and you fucking not what you wanna be. And it's gonna be a whole atmosphere. You know how we on the earth plane, we breathing oxygen? Nah, you ain't gonna be breathing oxygen. You're gonna be breathing motherfucking sulfur, and motherfucking smoke, and motherfucking all the shit that you know you weren't supposed to breathe in when you was on the earth plane. Since that's the only perception that you know, everything is subconsciously programmed. This is quantum reality. Everything that you know could kill you, nigga. Everything that you know could kill you. Everything you know that you weren't supposed to do, it's gonna fucking come back, and you're gonna keep experiencing that until you don't want to experience that shit no more. And even after you don't want to experience it, you still gonna keep experiencing that shit until you fucking learn how to not do the right thing. Then your slate gonna be clean, and then you're gonna have to come back to the fucking earth plane and do it all over again. You gonna have to come back here, or another plane of existence that's like this one, and do the same shit over again. Not, you know what I'm saying? Hey, hell is real, my nigga. I'm gonna tell you that straight up. And if you're experiencing regret and guilt right now, you're experiencing not doing the right shit right now, you're experiencing depression and all these different lower level feelings and emotions and lower level vibrations right now, then you're already there. You're just experiencing it on a lower vibration. You're just experiencing it on a higher vibration. You're experiencing regret and guilt in a plane where all the fucking energies are just coming together. Like, whether you happy or sad or not, it don't matter. All the energies here. But nigga, once you separate from this motherfucking plane and you go to the plane of all there is, all that you can be, if you didn't get tapped into divine knowledge yourself and stream it and begin to subconsciously program yourself to just stream it, and act on it every day and manifest, you know what I'm saying, heaven on earth, then you ain't gonna have no fucking heaven after you leave the earth. You ain't gonna have no heaven after you leave the earth if you don't manifest your heaven here right now. Christ said, didn't I tell you ye are gods? The Christ said, didn't I tell you ye are gods? Do the right thing, man. I'm finna get off of here. My phone about to die. I got 3% again. I love myself, guys. I am John Mashak, and I am here to live out and teach higher wisdom as an example for the collective consciousness. And I say today that we just gonna start doing the right thing. We're gonna get the information to let us know that we are one with source consciousness. We are source consciousness. Everything that's happening right now is just an illusion predicated upon this fractally reciprocated cycles of how we think. And once we learn how we think and actually start using how we think for righteous endeavors through our intent and will, by knowing that we're not separate and that everything is one, and we'll see heaven on earth. I love myself, family. Peace. Peace to the gods.